business is really warfare, but it's the activity of life itself. You say, well, business means I need to open up a business. Okay, yeah, that's right. But real activity of life has to deal with all the essentials of life that we must provide for ourselves, our families, our future. I have something in my pocket that, gee, where is it? Oh, yeah. I have a gold coin. In 1961, I was sitting with Elijah Muhammad, and he took out of his pocket a gold coin. This is 1 ounce of gold, pure gold, okay? Mr. Muhammad put it on the table. He said, one day soon, this gold coin will be the new medium of exchange. White people are moving into the inner city. Some of them knocking on doors. They come with money and they ask you for your gold. Because what they're giving you, I think I got some of that in my pocket. Yeah, I think I do. Now this is paper. This is not real money. This is real money. Silver as real money. Now you young people, some of the elders in the audience, like myself, this used to be called a silver certificate. How many old people in here know when this was a silver certificate? And you know what it said on the bottom? Pay to the bearer on demand $50 in silver, the real money. This is what you call monopoly money. Oh, you didn't hear me. We're going to do some business tonight. Because business is really warfare. What's about to happen? This week it came out in the news that in 2016, all the major banks are in trouble. It started with J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. What makes a bank in trouble? When the value of the paper that they have begins to lose its value, then the bank is in serious trouble. And so are we who have our money in the bank. Now, white people that are in your neighborhood, they're in the pawn shop now, and they're telling you in the window, bring the gold, we got cash for you. They know you don't know that this is losing its value every day. But gold will increase in value. Now this one here, I bought it today, or sent a brother to get it today, because I wanted to use it to explain something. 1 ounce of gold, this little piece right here, is 12. Now look, do we do business like business should be done? Let me hear an answer. In the word business is the word busy. And when you're busy, you're engaged in some focused activity. Business is the activity of life itself. When you are a living organism, you must be engaged in that which preserves and maintains your life. There is no creature that God created that is not busy feeding, sheltering, procreating, extending itself. If we are a living people, see, inanimate objects don't do this. They don't procreate. They don't go looking for food or shelter. They're inanimate, meaning they're not living. But what about you? Ever since we've been in America, we haven't provided food, clothing, shelter, education for ourselves and our people. Am I lying? You graduated from Morehouse, Clark, Howard, Tuskegee, Florida A&M, North Carolina A&T. Yeah. And you have degrees. What have we produced? Of food, of clothing, of shelter for our people. If you find as a living creature that you need something that you don't have, you look around for somebody that has what you need, and you enter into trade and commerce as a living people. But you are not alive. You are dead people. You have flatlined on business. Now, if you look at all the people of the earth, the ones that are the most busy, showing that they have the most life, are the members of the Jewish people. Why are they this way? Because they had the prophets. And they learned well. Now, I'd like to read you something that I found in this book. It talks about the percentage of Jews in America, but the number of Nobel laureates. Their percentage outweighs everybody's. They are the best in science, in medicine, in law, in art, in culture. It's a tremendous people. How did they get it? Through trade and commerce. Our lessons tell us that they set up a trading post. See, they understood the value of commerce. We haven't got it yet. You got brothers and sisters all over the world that you can do business with, but we have no commerce.
So they had to try to defeat the prophet's reputation. Look at the words they use. Look at what they said to Pastor Barrett. Look at what they said on television. It is a possible pyramid scheme. They didn't say it was in fact that. They didn't really know what it was. They could have dealt with a pyramid. What was it? See? Force them to show their hand. Some believe, look at the words in the press, some believe it to be a pyramid scheme. T.L. Barrett believes it to be an economic development plan. Well, then let's pit our two beliefs together, either in the world or in a court of law. Because if we believe it's an economic development plan, then prove it. And if they believe it's a scheme, then let them prove it. We ain't got a damn thing to prove to rich people except that we're poor and trying to get the hell out of it. What do we have to prove to them? Did you ever ask the Chinese how they built Chinatown? How many of you talk to the Chinese? Mr. Wong, how did you get so many Chinese restaurants in the black community? Was it a business loan from the government? You didn't ask that, did you? Did you? The Koreans just got here a few days ago. Did you ever ask the Koreans, Mr. Korean, sir, how did you get so many businesses in the black community so fast and just got here yesterday? Did you ask them? The Palestinian refugees, the Lebanese, the people of the Middle East whose area is torn up with war and devastation, and they arrive in America penniless. Did you ever ask them, brother Palestinian, how did you get so many stores in the black community and just got here yesterday? The reason you don't know, because they're not on television. Didn't you hear the old rap, the revolution will not be televised? The Chinese are not trying to get on Channel 2 telling you how they built up Chinatown. You don't find the Cubans coming on TV. Hi, y'all. My name is Salvador Sanchez. I am a man that just came from Cuba. The communist Fidel Castro drove me out, but thanks to God, I have $20 million now. And I want to show all of you silly people how I got it out of your pocket. You don't hear from the Cubans. You don't hear from the Haitians. You don't hear from the Vietnamese. You don't hear from the Palestinians. You don't hear from nobody who comes to America and networks their money. Go ahead. They got a network going. Have you ever asked the Greeks, how come the Greeks own all these restaurants in every major city in America? Have you ever said anything to anybody? You ain't under any obligation to tell your enemy what you are doing to get the hell out from under his yoke.
as though if he does make 8 million jobs, you're going to be the recipient. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a very truthful warner. He had our cartoonist Eugene Majid make a cartoon in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper at that time with the factories closing and a locked gate and black people all outside the gate looking for a job. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you must rise up and do something for yourself before you're forced to do it. And now the factories are closing and white folks are crying out for the outsourcing of jobs because the labor market has fought for higher wages, and higher wages has literally made it unprofitable for corporate America to compete with those things that are manufactured in Asia. So outsourcing means that you bring your jobs to Asia, where they may work for $1 a day and then bring those products back into America to sell them to the American people that corporate America has abandoned to increase their bottom line at the expense of the American people and at the expense of black people who are always the last hired and the first fired. Where's our future? As we open this 25th anniversary of NBUF, do you have a future in a country that doesn't have a future? I know America looks very strong and impenetrable. Not so. The economy of this country is held up with nothing of substance. The dollar bill is not backed by anything found. It used to be called a silver certificate, and it used to say paid to the bearer on demand, the equivalent in silver. This is not backed by silver, it's not backed by gold, it's backed by the GDP, or gross domestic product, of this country. And as the doorway of Asia begins to close on America, her economy is going to go down, and many scholars of economics feel that one day you'll just see a crash. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to us that one day you will see the rich with $1,000 bill in their hand, lighting their cigars with $1,000 bill, because the currency will have no more value. And when the currency goes down, the government comes down behind the currency. Now.
All right, greetings. We're going to come right in on that note right there. Greetings. Assalamu alaikum. How's everyone doing tonight? Glad that you can make it to this Business is Warfare broadcast. I'm your host tonight, Fard MacD, New Millennium Banker, Supreme X Family, and what we're about to go in and get in tonight. Listen, we're going to always report to you on what's happening with these banks. You can continue to trust the banks, but we will not let you trust the bank, but you have nothing to fear. You have nothing to fear. But you just have to make preparation to what's about to come. So that was the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan breaking down to us the science of money and business. And the reason we created this broadcast, because I'm a student of the man that you just heard. I'm a follower of a man that you just heard, right? I'm a disciple, I'm a soldier of the man that you just heard. But if it wasn't for these two men, If it wasn't for the minister to come back and put these two men back in our mind and on our heart, we wouldn't be here talking about Fard McD, talking about Exodus, talking about the Nation of Islam. We wouldn't be talking about none of that. All right. So we thank Allah. Not only do we thank Allah for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but we thank Allah for the one that came before him, that fashioned him and made him for us in this time. We are in the time of the changing of the world. So stuff that we're about to see, stuff that's going to take place, is going to be strange to those who want to hold on to the old world. The old world is going out. The new God, or the new millennium, is on the scene, and he is disrupting, destroying, curtailing this world, this country. So what we're seeing happening now is going to intensify and speed up when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, February the 26th, in Chicago, Illinois, deliver his keynote message to the world. You better get ready, because his subject matter is the war of Armageddon has begun. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, in message to the black man, he said that Armageddon means armies prepared, gathered together for war. That's what he said the word Armageddon means. So do you see warfare taking place? What's going on with Russia and Ukraine, right? What's going on in Syria? What's going on in Iran? What's going on in America? Where we got a civil war going on in America that we seem to can't open our eyes up to it. All right. Every day we look around, another black man has lost his life at the hands of the police. And every day, every second, every minute we look around, another black man has lost his life from another black man in these so-called hoods with these so-called gangs and these so-called drug wars going on. So everywhere you look, it is death and mayhem. It is chaos. All right. There's no peace on the planet. All right. Except in the Nation of Islam, the nation of peace, the nation of righteousness. So family, you want to make sure you hear that lecture, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, February the 26th. Don't miss it. Go to NOI.org. It will be streaming from there, and it will be probably streaming Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. If you can't come to Chicago, I'm going to be in Chicago with the Messiah. Me and my family, the whole family going. We're going to be in Chicago with the Messiah, the safest place that we can be. All right? And did y'all just see that earthquake that just hit Turkey? Oh, man, this thing is getting serious, right? We think earthquakes ain't going to come over here to that magnitude. We better get ready, right? We better get ready. But all you have to do is pick up your Bible, pick up your Holy Quran. It's all there. But if you're not scripture, all right, don't worry about it. Here's a book that you need so you can really see what's happening now. It's The Fall of America. Wrote by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and published by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1973. Now, this publication was so deep because most of what he said in that book did not happen until after he had departed. Most of what he wrote in this book hadn't happened yet. It's been happening over these last few decades. Most of what he put in this book, right? It's really happening now. So this book here will help you not only help you see what's happening, but it'll help you understand your Bible a little better. All right? Not a little better, far better. All right? And then if you want to know why this man here came to destroy the international bankers, if you want to know why, then you need to get this book, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2. We've been telling you about this book for years. We're going to continue to tell you about this book. And yes, we have done streams on this book that YouTube recently just took down. YouTube took down 5 of our videos for no perceived reason other than they saying there was some hate speech. I want you to listen at me. So if they saying I'm teaching hate, if they saying I got hate speech, then they putting that on my father, because I'm only repeating him. And we don't teach hate. We only teach the absolute truth, because that's what's in our mouth. We don't hate the Jewish people. We don't hate nobody. But we're going to tell the truth, and we're going to put what's happening in the world where it belongs. It belongs to these old crooked banks that have taken over these governments. These governments are not providing a solution. They are not serving the community at hand. All right. So I want to show y'all these videos. They took down actually 5 videos. I think they took down a whole playlist. All right. They took down a whole playlist from Forward Money Network. And they also took down a whole playlist, and they also had restricted us from doing live streams for 7 days. So we know their next step is going to take the whole channel down. But don't worry about that. We're not worried, because the channel didn't make me. Allah made me. So here it is right here. Hey, Forward Money. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our hate speech policy. We have removed the following content from YouTube. Then it goes on to tell me strikes and all of this here. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure you understand YouTube guideline, community guidelines, and strikes. Basically, see, ain't no freedom of speech. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't no freedom of speech, right? Because the video that they took down, they was old videos. See, they took down a whole playlist. This playlist type is unviewable. So they took it down, and I can't even look at it. So that's one. So they took down a whole playlist, right? Now, we want to show you this because we want you to get an understanding and understand that the enemy is paying attention to what we're saying over here, right? But we trying to get to you. We ain't trying to disturb him. So look at this. This is what they took down. Business is Warfare broadcast. The signs of business taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So this wasn't even me teaching, and they took this down. You see? Can't even view it. This playlist does not exist. Y'all see that? All right? We can't even do nothing about that. So this is what we're trying to tell y'all what's happening. The enemy is making his move. He's going to continue to make his move, but we're going to continue to push, because he's not giving up, family, his seat of power. So y'all see this here? Do y'all see that? Y'all see them? Them all videos that they took down right there. Oh yeah, man, we don't play in Forward Money Network, man. Y'all could think we some little lightweight. We just on here talking, thinking, man, I'm Forward Mac. Do you think that's just not saying something? You better believe it means something. You better believe that I even say I had that name. Why? Why did the God put that on me to even have that name? Because I'm one of the ones inside of his nation that has put my focus on where he want my focus to go. On the who? The international bankers. We got plenty of ministers that teach spiritual. All right? We got plenty of that. Right? The minister got plenty of those. Got plenty of ministers that speak spiritual, and they good. Right? I can do it, but that's not something that I want to lay my claim to, because somebody has to preach and teach the financial warfare aspect on what Master Fard Muhammad brought, and what the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad also taught us about, that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a reminder of that message. All right? There's no way to fight the international bankers without getting some money up when they print the money. Oh, my goodness. How we going to fight them broke? How we going to fight them when we ain't got no money? Y'all follow what we're saying? So they took these videos down, and these videos was titled Business is Warfare, the Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2, The Jews and Black Labor. That's a chapter in this book. And on these videos, it was 4 of them. We had part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. They took them all down. That was did in 2020. They was did in 2020. Y'all follow this? They was published and released and live streamed in 2020. And in 2023, he has come back 3 years later and take these videos down. Y'all seeing it right now. I'm showing this to you. But you're not going to never see Forward Money Network begging and asking for nothing from this enemy. We don't want nothing to do with this enemy. You feel me? We use these platforms to get a message out, to run businesses. Where they going to stop your business? No. They go back the old-fashioned way. You feel me? They don't stop the business. Go back the old-fashioned way. I have a phone, and my phone is utilized as a smartphone because that's what it is. So I'm smart with my device. I don't have no problem picking up the phone and calling somebody. You feel me? That's what it's for. So I'm going to get the money back. So that's a video right there that they took down. But don't worry. We will publish the videos a little later because we do have recordings of them. So don't worry about that. All right. So let's go. Let's get into this topic. Okay. So we want to always start our business warfare. We're dealing with what? We're dealing with the money. Right? We're dealing with the money. So we always going to take a look at this so-called money. And we always let you know on what's happening. I don't know. Did you go and look at the debt clock from the last time you was here? Did you go and check it out? Did you go and study it and read it? Remember last week, we did a whole live stream on the history of the banking system starting from 1100 all the way up to 1999, right before the new millennium kicked in. All right. Now, this video here, when we only read from what the previous presidents and Congress people and government officials, politicians have said about the banking system. Nobody that we quoted or read from yesterday was a black person. I want y'all to hear that. And you need to go back and watch that. Talking about Henry Ford. We talking about Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, all of the ones that we know about. That's American history. Some of the founding fathers of this country, from what they said about this private banking system that is called the Federal Reserve, that now controls the whole world monetary system through the IMF and the World Bank. Facts. All right. However, it's a new technology on the scene that they don't control. Just like it's a man on the scene that they don't control. They pretty much control everybody else. Right? The man on the scene that they don't control is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Right? And that system or that technology that they don't control is called the blockchain. Make no mistake about it. All right? You got to get an understanding to what they can and what they can't do. They are limited. They are not the supreme being. They are not the ultimate force in power. And they should not be looked at as such. Okay? Just like the minister said, we know you look at this government and this dollar as immovable. You don't think it's going to fall, but it's going to fall. Matter of fact, it ain't going to fall. It has failed, but it has fell on top of us. And all we got to do is just stand up. You know, like somebody, if you know what I'm saying? If somebody fall on you, you laying down, and all you had to do is just get up. They'll just roll off of you. See, that's all we got to do is just get up and unite. And the enemy will be done with in the morning. It's don't take a whole lot of energy on our part other than we have been turned inside out, so we hate one another for no reason at all, and we don't trust one another. So that's the hard part, to get us to love one another, to get us to like one another, to get us to want to mingle and be around one another without chaos. That's why you can't go to the club. You barely can go to the mall. You can't go anywhere. It's nothing to see blacks fighting each other. But we was made to hate ourselves. Think about it. If a man kidnapped you, kidnapped me, brought us over here, tore the children away from their parents, right? Broke the black man in front of the woman, all right? So now the black man, this is fear pumping into the babies because the woman was pregnant. She was seeing how they was doing her husband, her father, her brother. So when she has boy children now, she overly protects them. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. She don't so much overly protect the girls. That's why the girls are, for the most part, are running rapid. They're doing pretty much what they want to do. All right, because these mothers these days, they will overly protect their sons, but won't overly protect the girls. The enemy designed it like that because he changed the roles. So he has made where the black man is physically strong, but mentally weak. And he has made the woman more mentally stronger than the black man. So she cannot be controlled by another black man if he don't got nothing in his head. He can't control her. Not in a negative sense, because we think that word is a negative thing. She won't submit to him because he don't have the wisdom to make her submit. You follow what we're saying? So they have this thing going out to make everybody think I'm independent, I'm this and the third. Listen, that's why our community is so messed up. That's why America is so messed up. It's because the woman is at the bottom. She's the black woman is the most disrespected person on this planet. And we as black men, we do not supposed to tolerate that. Right? So we live by a certain code in the Nation of Islam. You can say what you want to say about us. But hey, whatever you do not mess with the women and children of the Nation of Islam. Don't do that. We live by a different code. Why? Because the black man has to be resurrected and put back on top of civilization. So these two men here came. This man here came and he taught the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he didn't just teach the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He made the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad a weapon against the enemy for us. Yeah, man, we misunderstood this man. So now they have a comforter because they have left Minister Farrakhan in the seat of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he exercising the same power. He's the same weapon. If you listen to the minister, you're going to be successful. You're going to survive. Your life will improve. It don't matter. They ain't talking about you wearing a headpiece and saying you a registered member or you a Muslim. You're already that by nature. You can't make you something you was born. We just trying to train you back into your nature. You feel what I'm saying? Because when we hear these two men, when we see these two men, and then we see the Honorable Minister Lord Farrakhan, we understand where he get his strength from. So once I follow a man like the Honorable Minister Lord Farrakhan, I can't be no damn punk. I can only be a lion. I can only be a god. I cannot be a slave. You cannot be a Muslim and a slave at the same time. That's an oxymoron. It is impossible. They do not go together. Why? Because we submit only to the Lord of the worlds. And that Lord of the worlds is none other than Master Fard Muhammad. Make no mistake about it. All right? So he don't make no coward. Because can't no coward take on this beast. Can't no coward do what we do. Go in the community where the guns are at. All right? And try to talk to our people and educate them about themselves. They think we're trying to make them join a religion. Man, the Nation of Islam is really not, technically, it's not even a religious group. Little do you know it or not. You think we that. Man, we the army of Allah. But y'all don't tote no weapons. We don't need them. You better check the history. But we done whooped the police before and they had guns. What we need them for? All the gangs in the hood got guns and they ain't whooping the police. They running from the police. We don't run from them. Huh? I'm a Muslim. I can't run. I don't know how to run. Unless I'm trying to run and get to somebody. That's the only way we running, but we ain't running from nobody. Make no mistake about it. Why? Because we don't fear death. We're going to die anyway. So we willing to give our life for a greater cause. You feel me? Because when you're a soldier and you connected up on high, we expect for retaliation in a hurry. So if Allah say, this Allah, Master Fard Muhammad, well, he said that if you take one of mine with one of my least, he's going to take 10 of your best. And I'm not one of his least. You feel me? So take me. I don't know how many he's going to take out if you take me. Oh, man, y'all better stop playing with us. We worship a real, live, living God. We talking separation here. This ain't no, man, you see the minister doing what he do. What you think this is? You think it's a game? And then you have certain Negroes sit around and talk about, well, the nation did this, the nation did that. If the minister was doing all that, they'd have been killed. The Negro, please. Stop bearing witness that the enemy is your God. The enemy ain't got no power over you only than what you give him because you're afraid. But you remember the scripture in the Bible, how the elders of Israel, they was afraid to go into the promised land. So Jehovah told Moses, don't worry about it. Let them die out. Let them wander around in the land being cowards, and we're going to let them die, and we're going to take their sons and their grandchildren, and they're going to take the promised land. The Joshua generation is the generation of fulfillment. We ain't sitting around asking for permission when the Messiah already gave it. He already gave it. He already gave it. He already told us what to do. We already got these instructions. So it's time to fulfill it now. All right, in the Joshua generation, we that generation. We ain't hoping. We ain't faith. Faith is something you hope for before you see it. No, we taking it. Master Farah Muhammad said he's going to make us the perfect rulers. So that's us. Hey, we tell you, hey, this world going out, man. So we ain't trying to hold on to it. We ain't trying to hold on to it for what is going out. What we want to hold on to it for? We don't want to hold on to his name. We don't want to hold on to his money. We don't want his women. We don't want nothing to do with it. We want complete separation. Separation of death. The minister said that, right? 2017 in Newark, New Jersey. The Holy Day of Atonement. The 22nd anniversary of the Holy Day of Atonement was titled Separation of Death. Now you go back and check what didn't happen since 2017, since he delivered that message. Separation of death. Ain't no reforming the enemy. You can't reform the devil. Ain't no reforming his system. And when we talking about devils, we talking about this man's system. We talking about Satan. We talking about the synagogue of Satan, which is a system. That banking system is a part of the synagogue of Satan. Woo, man, I'm juiced. So let's go. Before we get to our topic today, let us bring the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan back to the witness stand, and let him tell you about this most powerful one. And he has given this power to this man right here. The man that you think is dead, or that you thought was dead, or that you think is dead, or thought died back in 1975. Well, he's alive, willing, in power. Oh, yeah. He is the exalted Christ of your Bible. He has been exalted to the right hand of the supreme being. And he has been given the power over everything but Allah himself. If you don't believe it, ain't no way Mr. Farrakhan will be the man he is and been doing what he been doing over these 40 plus years since the Most Honorable Muhammad left. If the Most Honorable Muhammad was dead, physically dead, is impossible. The minister got to have strength and a power coming from somewhere else. And we don't want to hear your little hateful self, little jealous self talking about, well, the government would have been a did. The government wouldn't have been a did nothing. The government know about the mother wheel. That's why they keep the so-called UFOs above top secret, and they will not bring the Nation of Islam to the witness stand or to the table to talk about those so-called unidentified flying objects. Man, don't get us twisted. And they won't tell you. You don't hear them mocking. The Nation of Islam say that they bagged by God in person. They don't mock that. When you ever heard the enemy mock that? You ain't never heard the enemy say that. You ain't never heard the enemy mock the minister when the minister say, watch the weather. Whenever you seen that, you ain't heard that. Because the enemy know what's happening. The enemy know what's happening, but he wise too. So the enemy know, well, I can't do that, so I don't want to say too much about this son of man in our midst right now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I don't want to say too much what he can and can't do because I know he can prove it. Whenever the minister has talked about the wheels, what has he said? Before you mock me, you will see these wheels over the major cities. And soon as he didn't even get it out of his mouth good, they show up. Why? Well, who's showing them up? Well, who he connected to then? Who he tuned up with then? Well, he tuned up with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was in control of those wheels. So when the ministers say you're going to see him, they automatically come out, because truth be told, wherever he at, they already up there, whether you see him or not. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. They already up there. All right? Yeah, that's the army that you don't see unless they want you to see him. And they made for two purposes. But I'm going to let the minister further tell you about why we have to separate, why we have to get reparations, and why we got to thank self-government, and we got to come together to stop all this foolishness going on in our community. All right? And a part of that meaning we got to start doing business. We at war. Financial, health-wise, education-wise, religion, everywhere you want to look, political-wise, socially, we at war, and we at the bottom. We ain't at the top. But we need plans of action that the minister done already gave. So come join the Nation of Islam. Come bring your expertise, your studies, your mastery, whatever you can bring to your nation. Because you already in the nation, you just haven't stepped in to accept your own and be yourself. Accept your own and be yourself. What's your own? A righteous Muslim. We don't get hung up on the title. A Muslim only means one to submit to do the will of God. What's the will of God? Righteousness. And his will in this day and time is the resurrection of the mentally and spiritually dead. And that's on all levels. So we in Forward Money Network, we have just taken the side to deal with economics. That's just our stand. We got 9 ministries, 10. And trade and commerce, finances is one of them. So we're going to focus on one thing over here and let the next person that need to be over health, need to be over education, let them, that ain't us. We over here, trade and commerce. We doing international trade and commerce. We doing international business in Forward Money Network. We not playing. We're not no little lightweight joker, man. You feel me? No, man. This is what we do. All right. So you bring your expertise on what you can do and let us link up and let us circulate the money. But until then, let us circulate the money once we start producing everything we need. But you can't tell me to shop black and what I want. Black folk don't got it. You feel me? We don't own no Walmart. We need Walmart. We need grocery stores. Yeah, we need that. But first thing, we need a banking system that respect us and that give us what we need on the monetary. That's what we need first. Yeah, we need access to the capital. We need our money turning over. That's why the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said that the Mullah Muhammad said with the first $1 million, he gonna open up a national reserve bank. That's what the minister said. I ain't said it. That's what he said. The Mullah Muhammad said. Matter of fact, let's play that part, and then we're gonna go back to the separation. All right.
That we must now do something for ourselves or suffer the consequences. If we cannot depend on the government to look after us, then who can we depend on? Many of us are being lulled to sleep by the so-called atmosphere of peace and tranquility produced by the breakup of the Soviet Union and by the nations appearing to unite with America. And Mr. Bush seems to be riding the crest of a mighty wave that has put him on top of the nations of the earth. And he seems to be saying, like Babylon, I sit as a queen and I shall see no sorrow. But in the night, a hand started writing on the wall. Your kingdom has been weighed in the balance and found wanting. You cannot depend on President Bush or no president, whether it is Bush or Wilder or Jackson or Johnson. Nobody who sits in the White House will be able to deliver for black people. There's something you have to know about this in order that you may not depend on government to do for you what you and I have got to get up now and do for ourselves. Listen to me carefully. Just a casual look in the newspapers will tell you that all the economies of the Western world are in a decline. That's right. That's right. Great Britain, decline. That's right. France, decline. Belgium, decline. Spain, Portugal, Italy, decline. That's right. West Germany was a thriving economy, but they had to spend tremendous amounts of money in the reunification. So their economy is not as strong. So the European nations, in their weakness, decided, let's unite. That's right. And in 1992, the common market of Europe will kick in, making Europe possibly the biggest market for goods in the world. America, as the leader of the Western world, is in a dying economic situation. The dollar appears strong, but is backed by no sound value. Are you listening to me, brothers and sisters? Banks closing. President Bush spending more time on foreign policy while the domestic scene begins to unravel. America is a strong country, all right, but not as strong. And the future looks dim, according to analysts. 10 years ago, among the 6 major banks in the world, 1 or 2 were American banks. Now, in the top 20, you may find 1 American bank. The capital of finance, you would think, is Wall Street. But the #1 economy in the world is Japan. And she has been number. We have got to develop an economic program to save our people. This economic program must not be tied to a people's belief. We can't ask black people, are you Muslim or Christian or Baptist or Methodist or Episcopalian or Church of God in Christ? Are you a Democrat or Republican? You're black and you're catching hell, and we are a family, so we've got to make a program for all or for none at all. Now, you know, President Johnson promised us he would make a war on poverty, and then sent money to fight the war in Vietnam. And here we are today, poor, ragged, hungry, naked, out of doors, and we are becoming more and more savage every day in our evil mistreatment of one another. It's hard today to say to black people that white people are evil when it's your black brother coming in your door, taking your TV, robbing you, raping you, shooting you down. It's no longer white people doing this. It is us doing it to one another. And we have become so cold and callous that our own lives mean nothing to us. If we can't depend on America and the government, then what program is available that we can get busy and do something for self? I'm saying to the Muslims, if we set up a restaurant, that is not going to help black people. You set up a little bakery on the south side, I mean, that's nice. You give a few jobs, you know, that's nice. We'll applaud you. And people will say, oh, the Muslims got a restaurant. Oh, the Muslims got a bakery. Oh. The Muslims got a little factory over there, employs 100 people. Oh. The Christians got a little store over here. Oh. But look at the suffering of our people. It's broader than a little mom and pop operation. It's bigger than what individual churches can do or mosques can do. The problem is so large. We'll never solve it with millions of dollars. It takes billions of dollars to solve this problem. Set aside $10. 10 million people with $10 in 1 month, that's 100 million. In 1 year, that's 1,200,000,000 in our bank. Now look at this, brothers. Three years from now, if that just stayed at that rate, it'd be nearly $4 billion plus the interest on it. We would have to find a safe instrument to put it in till we're ready to use it, because the banks are not too safe. And we sure can't put it in a savings account that only insures $100,000. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, with the first $1 million, we would set up our own National Reserve Bank. I will be sitting down this week with some bankers because I want to understand how to set up a national banking system. You're not getting nothing from white folks in their banks and hardly getting anything from black banks. You put your money in, you get 5%, 5 1/4, 5 1/8. Your money is loaned out at 12%, 14%. You go to get a car loan, they may not give you the loan unless you got something in your bank equal to what you're asking them to loan you. You are so disunited, somebody can sell you life insurance. You paying for insurance for your life. And all these nickels, dimes, and dollars that they're collecting on life insurance in every major city of America, it's the insurance companies that are building all these fine office buildings, ain't got nobody in them. Well, if everybody's buying up America, the Japanese buying it, The Dutch buying it, the British buying it, the Koreans buying it. Why don't we own a piece of the rock? Well, what would we buy? I know you would want me to buy a barbecue stand. I'm only teasing. You might want me to buy something frivolous. A hotel, a motel, The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the thing that all economics is built on is land. We have got to own some of this earth that we can call our own. I'm going to give you a picture and then we'll leave. Joseph in the Bible was sold into bondage. And he became a master in the land where he was sold as a slave because he interpreted Pharaoh's dream, and he was given the key to what? The grain house.
All right, family, so we're going to come right off that thing right there. Told you what he said. Muhammad said, we need a National Reserve Bank, family. We need our own banking system. And we're not talking about something regulated and overseen by the Federal Reserve. No, we need we're talking separation here, man. We're not talking about being in their system. They control all of that. They control the black banks. Black banks ain't giving nothing. What's 0.05 on my money? That ain't no interest, right? I can't do nothing with that. That ain't growing no money at no rate that low right there. We better get an understanding about rate of returns, all right, for real. And especially get that understanding quick because, hey, for our Money Network, we have something to offer you that'll get you a rate of return that'll shock you. This is what we doing. This is how we growing our money, all right? So check it out. My money working right now. I don't never call it off. I just put some more money to work tonight. Yeah, man, this thing is real, right? So they say wealthy people look the ways to rich people look at ways to look at money as it means to make more money. Yeah, the middle class look at it to pay their credit score so they can look rich. And the poor class only look at money to pay bills with. Man, please, you want to live like that the rest of your life? Man, that's some horrible stuff. That's a nightmare. So we're going to look at the final call. The issue we're looking at tonight, we're looking at this issue that was 2 weeks ago, January the 31st. And in this issue, we had two articles about the bank. But we're going to do the main one is this bank right here. Now, remember the minister said we couldn't trust the banks, right? So that was in 1990. That was 1990, he said. So if he said in 1990, 1991, that we needed billions of dollars to solve this problem, which was over 30 years ago, well, how much money do we need to solve our problem now? Well, we need trillions now. And we better get it fast because the dollar ain't going to have no value in a minute. Modern day redlining. LA Bank found guilty of racist lending practices. It's another bank. Another scandal. The Los Angeles-based City National Bank is the latest bank found guilty of redlining, a form of racial discrimination still disproportionately affecting black and brown people in the United States. The United States Department of Justice accused the bank of refusing to underwrite mortgages in predominantly black and Latino communities and is requiring the bank to pay over $31 million. Nobody going to jail now. They ain't talking about that. So they just got to pay $31 million. Now, this is in the final call. If you haven't got your subscription to the final call, text FCN to that number so you can get subscribed. And we do have the digital issues that we will email to you every single week. All right, every single week. So send a text message so you can see what the rates are. So you can see, do you want to do, we only do a minimum of 3 months, which is 12 issues. But if you do 12 issues, we always throw an extra issue in there. So you'll pay for 12 and get 13 issues. All right, which is going to keep you informed, and you can get it physical too. We do mail-in. The mail-in rate is a little higher. Okay, the mail-in rate is a little higher. Why? Because of shipping and handling. Okay, so make sure you get the final call. You need it. It's the only international black, unbiased, untampered with, direct, truthful news that you can get anywhere in America or the planet for that matter. But we're just talking about America now. All right. Anywhere in America, this is the only independent black newspaper. Period. This settlement is historic, marking the largest settlement ever secured by the Justice Department against a bank engaged in unlawful redlining, said Assistant Attorney General Christian Clark of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. This settlement embodies Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s commitment to fighting economic injustice and ensuring that Black Americans and all communities of color are able to access the American dream and freely access the credit needed to purchase a home. Redlining is a practice from a bygone era, runs contrary to the principles of equity and justice, and has no place in our economy today, she said. This settlement should send a strong message to the financial industry that we expect lenders to serve all members of the community and that they will be held accountable when they fail to do so, she added. Ain't nobody going to jail though. Did the Justice Department, but ain't nobody going to jail. All right? We got brothers and sisters in jail for writing a $200 bad check and they in jail. But these folk running away and keeping millions and billions away from us and ain't even going to do a day in jail. They just paying a fine. Boy, let me tell you, this system is so tricked up. Kangaroo system. A January the 14th press release by the Justice Department describes redlining as an illegal practice in which lenders avoid providing credit services to individuals living in communities of color because of the race, color, or national origin of the residents in those communities. The Justice Department complaint states that from 2017 to 2020, City National avoided providing home loans and other mortgage services in majority Black and Hispanic neighborhoods in the Los Angeles Metropolitan Division or Los Angeles County. Only 3 of its 37 branches at the time were in majority Black and Hispanic neighborhoods, despite the fact that well over 50% of census traits in Los Angeles County are majority Black and Hispanic. The department also accused the bank of failing to act on internal reports that indicated fair lending and redlining risk and noted the intentionality of the bank's discriminatory actions. As a result, Black and Hispanic people were discouraged from applying for home loans at City National. As of April the 30th of 2022, City National Bank had a total of $90.9 billion of assets and operated 79 branches across the country. Los Angeles County is home to 80% of the bank's deposits and 33% of its branches. According to 2015 census data, 27% of the 20 million residents of the metropolitan area are non-Hispanic whites. 40% are Hispanic or Latino, 8% are Black, and 14% are Asian. In the last 20 years, the bank opened only one out of 11 banks, the Crenshaw branch, in a majority Black and Latino neighborhood, and that branch does not have an employee dedicated to underwriting mortgages, the complainant says. Dr. Michael Lenz, Associate Professor of Urban Planning and Public Policy at the University of California, Los Angeles, expressed to the final call the importance of enforcing laws related to discrimination and lending practices. I think it also highlights for me how difficult it is and how infrequently we're able to prove discrimination by particular actors in various facets of the housing market, whether it's lenders or appraisers or buyers, sellers, he said. Dr. Lenz explained the changing face of redlining as in the 1900s, maps displayed red line zones that automatically made inhabitants, majority black and brown people, ineligible for loans. So you need to get the final call so you can read all of this article, family. Please do so. But now that wasn't the only bank article in this particular issue of the final call. It was also an article in here about Wells Fargo. Now, we had already did a live stream about this one, I think on the crypto morning, where we talked about this was a bank branch, Wells Fargo bank branch in San Francisco, California, where the bank has been ordered to pay $3.7 billion for abusive banking, which they was raising interest rates on car loans and on homes unjustified. It was wrong what they was doing, and they was also hitting their customers with overdraft fees that they wasn't really doing. And some of the people that interest loans went up on their cars, they actually repossessed some of their cars in homes. Listen to that, just read this first article. Now, we already did a stream on this, and it's on Far Money Network. I'm going to go pull it up for you can see it. All right, so you can get the full breakdown. Wells Fargo fined for abusive banking. Now, this is in the final call. This is another article in the same final call that first LA Bank article was in. It's the same paper. The Customer Financial Protection Bureau, ain't that something, fined Wells Fargo $3.7 billion for abusive banking. The bank's illegal conduct led to billions of dollars in consumer financial harm. Thousands had, listen family, thousands had their vehicles and homes wrongly repossessed. Customers were illegally assessed fees and interest charges on auto and mortgage loans and had payments to auto and mortgage loans misapplied by the bank. The bank is sending these customers detail on how they will get their portion of $2 billion plus. Well, where the rest of it go? Where the other 1.7 go? But they'll tell you about all of that. So this is why you want to get the final call. This is why you want to stay connected to Far Money Network. Let me go and let's go back to YouTube, and we can look at that and see where that video is at. So let me pull that up so I can show it to you, show you the date, and I will type it in the chat on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Fard MACD personal page, then you will need to go to the Facebook, to the business page for Fard Money Network, or you would need to go to the YouTube channel to get it. So let me go ahead and grab this here. Let me share the screen so y'all can see me grab it. All right. So let's see. So we are here. All right. So we did LTX, IRS. I know we did a stream on it. Fractional reserve lending. What's the benefits of that? Blah, blah, blah. 1 month ago. Was it that long ago? Here it is right here. Here it is right here. Crypto Mornings. Wells Fargo fined $3.7 billion over consumer law violations. So this is it right here. But it's a whole video. It was a crypto morning that we did 1 month ago. And you can see the whole breakdown about it and see what happened, because we got it from ABC News out of Chicago, thanks to my brother, executive team members in New Millennium Bankers in Fard Money Network, brother Kadar Muhammad and Jihad Muhammad. So I'm going to put the link in the chat so everybody can get it. Now, this is going to come to YouTube and Facebook, but if you're on Fard MACD page, you're going to have to go to the other spot to get it. All right. Well, maybe I can go and get it. So just hold on for money. We're coming to a conclusion, family, but we want to make sure you get the information that you need. so you can get it. Okay. So we're there. So we got it. All right. So let me put it in the chat so everybody can have it. Bam. All right. So there you go. So now it's on all 3 pages, all 3 channels, so you can get it. So family, we want to thank y'all for tuning in. Tune in the morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a brand new crypto morning. You don't want to miss it. Regardless on what you heard about crypto, whoever don't like crypto, don't worry about that. You don't like money if you don't like crypto. Crypto is a currency. So why are you running away from it? Why are you afraid of it? When you seeing what the bank's doing. Well, what happened with FTX? Man, that's an exchange. Man, you can open up an exchange right now. That ain't nothing hard to do. And it ain't hard to rob the people. That's a centralized platform, man. We over here decentralized. Decentralized, and this is how we keeping and storing our money, but we're using it to get these high rates of return and to reinvest and to keep this money going and growing so we don't have to work as hard. Ain't you tired of getting up, going to work every day just to pay bills, and you ain't got enough money for yourself? You ain't got no time for your spouse, for your family, for your children. That's why the children in public school, because both parents at work. All right? Both parents at work. So when you get out of work, you're drained. You don't even have time to do that. Who want to live that life? I tried that lifestyle. That lifestyle is sick. That lifestyle is sick. So come on, get out of it, man. Fix yourself, get out of it. I just told my brother tonight. You feel what I'm saying? I called him. He was going to work. He said, I said, you know what I'm saying? I said, you sound happy. He said, I ain't happy. I said, well, you should be. I said, because a free black man offered you something, a way to get free, and you won't take it because you saying you want to do something else. Well, you happy with the job you got then. That ain't no whole lot to that. That's just common sense, right? If I don't like my job and somebody show me that's already free and show me a way to get free, a system that I can get in and get free with the equal opportunity, same opportunity as he had, and I don't take it, then I like the job that I got there. I can't complain about that. Because when you want to get free, you're going to do what it is as long as it's moral, right, and ethical. You're supposed to do it. Now, well, that ain't what I want to do. Well, you like your job then, obviously. Because when I didn't like the job I was going to do, I would have been selling lotions and potions, whatever it is. I'm selling something to get off the job. That's just how it is. Why? Because I can't have a grown man or nobody telling me when I got to come in, what time I can leave, what time I can eat, what time I can use my phone, what time I can use the bathroom. I ain't got what I got to wear. Hey, man, please. Please, man, ain't no slave no more. Remember, I told you the Joshua generation. We don't want to hear that. Why you think these youngsters don't want to work right now? So you can see who out in here now. The youngsters that don't want to work, see, them the ones going to be the new rulers. Them the ones going to be the new business owners, the new entrepreneurs. They the ones going to be having all the money. You see them youngsters that got them jobs, you ain't got to worry about them. Why? Because they ain't got the right attitude. I ask them all the time, what you working for? You paying bills already? They 16, 17, 15 years old already working. Well, why don't you just get out there and sell some stuff? Right? You see the little youngsters on the corner all the time. They selling newspaper, waters, Gatorade, sodas. They entrepreneur. They selling it. See what I'm saying? They got the right spirit, but somehow they're going to break that from them and tell them they need to go get a job. They stop selling. See that? You make way more money selling. That's just facts, man. You make way more money selling, no matter. You make way more money selling. I can have a product and sell it for $20 and sell 1 hour and make the same amount of money that a person that go to work and they stay on that clock, on that position, in that chair, doing whatever they do for that 1 hour and only get $20 before taxes. So in all actuality, if you make $20 an hour, you literally might be making $13 to $14 for real. Because Uncle Sam got to get his. And you ain't trying to cut Uncle Sam out because you're afraid of the government. You're afraid of the government. So with that being said, family, as promised, we're going to leave you with these separation videos of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We will see you in the morning. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for our money. And if you want to get the latest FCN digitally or mailed to you physically, then text FCN to that number at the bottom of the screen. Well, with that being said, family, we'll see y'all in the morning. Thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It don't cost you nothing. Support the channel. Let's get this message out and come back next week. All right? And continue to come back and continue to support us, because we're going to continue to bring you this system until you get in. It don't matter. Systematic approach, a systematic answer to a systematic problem. The wealth problem is systematic. So we're going to take a systematic solution to solve it. Let's go, family. Yes, sir.
We have to press the government for reparations. Listen, as long as you ask for a job, and they don't have them these days, but they can promise it. You're going along to get along. Do you know why Elijah Muhammad put on the back page of Muhammad Speaks? We want freedom, full and complete freedom. We want justice. We want equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. We want equality. We want equality of opportunity, and we want equal membership in society with the best in civilized society. But then in point number 4, he says we believe that those of us whose parents, have been here for 400 years, and we believe that you have offered us integration as a hypocritical trick to make us believe that our 400-year-old enemy has now become our friend. We believe that this is the time in history for separation. And he said, since we can't get along with you in peace, then we think what we've contributed to America, we should have some of this earth that we can call our own. So we need 8 or 10 states with an outlet to the sea. And we want you to supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 or 25 years until we can go for ourselves. Now, I had a talk at Harvard with that man, the senator that died, Moynihan. He had talked about birth control among blacks, and I went to Harvard, and we had a little debate, and I told Mr. Moynihan that, we wanted to be separated from you. We don't see you giving us no justice. So we want some of this earth that we can call our own. And I was telling him that we were willing to go into underbrush and cut the underbrush down and fell the trees and build a nation of our own. And I was telling the Honorable Elijah Muhammad what I told Moynihan. He said, stop, you was doing all right till you got to that part. He said, you don't tell the white man that you're willing to go back and cut no underbrush. We already did that once. If we have to do it again, that's not progress. Hell no. Get out of the cities and the towns that we helped you build. Go and find some other state to move in. You move out, we move in. Now wait a minute. You say, oh, come on, Farrakhan, that's a pipe dream. Well, damn, you better put it in your pipe then. You better start smoking what this is. Because that mess that you're talking ain't making no damn sense.
That's right. That's right.
You're going to wait around here another 100 years so they can bamboozle you some more?
That's right. That's right.
He said, well, 8 or 10 states, let them go out, we go in, and let them take care of us in that separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years. You say, oh, come on, Farrakhan, they won't do that. Listen, they've been taking care of Israel for 55 years. They've given Israel over $100 billion of your tax dollars, and Israel haven't done nothing for them. You mean to tell me we who built the country, we who bled and died to maintain the country, we who gave it art and culture and seasoning, and we can't get along with you in peace as long as we want equal justice? Hell no, we can't wait for you to change. Right. We want a nation. We want to be able build to prepare a future for our children. We don't need no rich middle class of Negroes who can't do nothing for the masses of our people. We need land and territory that we can call our own. So reparation got to be on the agenda. We need land, Mr. President. You got all this Federal Reserve land. What you reserving it for? Yeah, we need cash. Hell yeah, print some more. To you in your foolish state, what are you going to do with $20, $30, $40, $50,000 but give it right back to the enemy? It ain't about money. It's about that which will prepare a future for you and your children. You're not going to be on welfare for the rest of your life. You're not going to be out here scrounging and begging white people for a job for the rest of your life. But if you got land that you can build a real world out of it for yourself. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, well, I put it there. They may never give it to you. He said, but I want you to know what justice looks like. So they won't offer you a white woman and a few dollars and you think we made it. Some of you Negroes will sell our people out for just a little position with white people. You won't sell us out. You'll be buying your funeral. The future of our people is not to be compromised. It would be better that you were dropped in the bottom of the sea with a millstone around your neck to betray the legitimate aspirations of our people. We got to come out from among them. We got to leave Pharaoh. Leave him. The hell with it. Leave it. Force him to tell you, nigga, I ain't giving you nothing. If you put it on the table strong enough, he'll come out of his bag. See, today he's smiling. Hi, brother, how are you? See? But if you say no, wait, no smile, no pat on the back. Yeah, let's talk about reparation here. Okay? Then you see him change. Face get red. He opened his mouth and these teeth turn into fangs. Horns come up. Say, now look, we'll give you a monument for the slaves. We'll even help you Negroes have a museum on the mall in Washington. But we'll be damned if we're going to give you anything. Say, well, fine. You're not going to give us nothing, and we're not going to give you nothing. We ain't joining your army. We're coming out of it. We ain't paying no taxes to support a system that's against us. Hell no. See, now you're throwing down the gauntlet. Now either God is real or we don't need him. God damn it, if God can't come to our defense, who the hell need a God that won't fight for us? Yeah. So all you scared to death niggas that think that God ain't real, we gonna prove that he's real because we calling this cracker out. God damn it, come on out then. And if God be God, then stand up for us like you stood up for the children of Israel. Yes, sir. Come on. I don't represent no punk God. No, sir. No, sir. I represent a God that make rain, hail, snow, and earthquake. I represent a God that has power over the forces of nature. I represent a God that can turn men's minds to thinking and doing as he pleases. And he real, he ain't no damn spook. So all of you that fear the white man
And there's a God beside our life. Get the hell over here. Oh. I'm willing to die for the righteousness and the freedom of black people. And I'm not no damn fool. Keep on your feet. This is a day of separation. Go ahead. Y'all not gonna be together. That's right.